August 1984, Brother Alan Boroli was baptized in Santa Maria, Bulacan by late Brother Armand Pacheco, the founder and spiritual father of God's Chosen Generation Christian Ministries in Balut, Tondo, Manila. And after 2 years in October 1986 was again rebaptized at Jesus the True God Christian Fellowship in San Pedro, Laguna after regaining from a backsliding status. In the same year, Brother Alan, not yet a pastor, became active in the ministry and starting to receive a vision, dreams, unusual experiences of divine visitations, and a handful of audible voice heard. In 1987, sent by God back in Tondo, Manila, wherefore accommodated by Brother Armand Pacheco's successor, Pastor Renato Fidelis. Brother Alan Lee, commissioned by Pastor Renato A. Fidelis as one of the missionary evangelists to Kalinga, Apayao, through Pastor Ray Awatin, the founder of Tribes in Asia for Christ. There he met Pastor Lita Ong and Sister Lily Sismaet from Naik, Cavite. Brother Alan received his vision to go to a certain place to start his ministry.
Missionary ako doon sa Tribes in Asia. Tapos nagkaroon ako ng dreams na nung nasa Kalinga kami doon, na ako daw ay hinahabol ng mga, hindi ko alam, hapon. So, ano yun? Sa gano'n, hahabol eh. Sa nakikita ko yung parang tabi, may mga nipa, may mga, yung typical na parang sa tabing dagat. Pero bundok siya. Hindi mo maintindihan kung dagat.
On the third day of the prayer and fasting, Sister Lily invited them to have a walk in the beach. Brother Alan was reminded of his vision and dream after he saw the place. On that night, he heard a small voice saying, "Stay where you are."
So, nag-fasting kami ni Sister Rita. Sa Naik kay Sister Lily Ismael. Yun eh. Yun ang days kami na fasting. Ika-third day, breaking na kami, no? Breaking na eh. Kakain na kami. Dinala kami sa tabi ng dagat. Sa tabi ng dagat, nakita ko, ito yun eh. Ito yung lugar na, kako, na maraming tao. Kaya nung nag-crusade tayo noon sa Bukana, na-confirm ko ulit yun na nga kasi dami tumanggap mo. Dami-daming tao, maraming gumaling. Na-confirm ko na patawid daw ako kasi may ilog doon eh. Yung Paho at saka Gagalangin. Parang ang istorya, patawid ako sa Gatchosen, pabalik. May sumundo sa akin na bangka na walang kating, na para siyang Vietnamese. May malaking sombrero. Ako naman sumakay. Kasi hindi ka naman sumasakay, di ba? Parang igaganon ka lang. Bangka, pero igaganon din. Bangka din yun, kaya lang may tali. Eh yun, walang bangka, walang tali. Talagang bangka talaga, pero walang katig. So sabi ko, pasakay. Tay, pasakay, matanda eh. Diyan sa kabila. Pabalik ng tundo nga. Kasi galing ng pabalik ng balot. So, aba, iba yung way. Dinala niya ako. Parang, nung nakita ko na yung Timalan, parang Timalan, o kaya parang Bukana, yung dulo ng Bukana. Parang gano'n pa sa, may mga coconut. Basta gano'n ang mukha niya. Pag pumunta ka ngayon dyan sa tabing dagat, parang gano'n makikita mo. O, ba't dito tayo? Doon ako, sa church. Tapos, sa panaginip ko, nandun na siya sa baba. Nagtataka ako, nasa likuran ko siya eh. Bakit nung nandun na siya sa harapan? Nakaganon yung kamay niya. Nakaturo, may daan na pag ganun-ganun. bundok to, puno to, puno. Tapos may daan siya na ang kasya lang isang tao. Kung sa Bible, yung narrow at saka wide road. Sumunod ako doon kasi pinapunta. Nagtataka naman ako. Sumunod na. Nandun siya sa harap. Lagi siya nasa harapan ko. Hindi ko siya maunahan. Paglakad ko, nandun na naman siya, nasa unahan, naglalakad. Hindi ko siya nasa abutan. Hanggang sa tumatakbo na ako, naglalakad lang siya, tumatakbo na ako. Hindi ko pa rin siya maunahan. Doon ako nagtataka. Halika, sumunod ka lang sa akin. So doon na naputol.
In 1988, Pastor Allen decided to pastor the small church with 15 active members, the initially named Riverside Christian Fellowship, led by late Sister Letty Annett, and eventually changed to Jesus the Living Word Christian Fellowship. The first successful evangelistic crusade last October was held in College of Fisheries in Bocana in Cavite. Later part of 1988, Pastor Allen received the vision to start a provincial pastoral movement named Cavite for Jesus Movement. In 1989, Pastor Allen decided to affiliate the ministry to Word for the World Christian Fellowship. There, Pastor Allen Lee got married to Sister Lorna Enad. During the years 1990 to 1992, the church grew and continued doing barangay and town crusades. The church transferred to the Lisay Theater. Pastor Allen started his radio ministry, Ang Salita ng Buhay, at DWAD 1098 KHZ. China Bible Courier in 1993 is the first international mission exposure of the ministry through Pastor Allen. Sister Josephine Calantog and Sister Evangeline Deloso became the first full-time workers. Along with Brother Tirso Mangante, Sister Gloria Tomas went to Bible school and later became one of the associate pastors of the ministry. And Pastor Armand Cruzem III of Church of God Maragondon decided to merge and join the leadership of Pastor Allen under the umbrella of Word for the World Christian Fellowship. The church was transferred to Ibayo Silangan, and in the same year, 1993, the church also started the Living Word Christian School. From 1994 to 1995, Pastor Danny Tang joined in the ministry as to refuge and accommodation, and later Pastor Danny Bruce adopted his ministry in Kaputatan. Pastor Allen started to become one of the Bible League trainer in Asian countries. Brother Nilo Tikal was appointed as praise team coordinator and early in 1994 was sent for a 1-month missionary work in Thailand, eventually became one of the lay minister in LWGOM Maragondon, Cavite for some period. From 1996 to 1997, church leadership training was held tight in preparation for Pastor Allen's short-term missionary training work in South Africa and Maputo, Mozambique, under the Bible League International.
The Lord gave Pastor Allen songs to compose, later recorded and named Kerigma Band, with the help of Brother Teddy Soriano from the Maputo African UN Diplomatic Corps in Mozambique. Brother Teddy is also one of the great supporters of Pastor Allen's mission and training in US and Malaysia, including his trainings and mission trips during his early years in the ministry since 1996 onwards.
On the same year, Pastor Allen decided to begin the Living Word Global Outreach Ministries to adhere to God's primary vision and mission he received. From 1997 to 1998, after his mission work in Africa, Pastor Allen began to continue the church evangelistic work. The church also began the cell group concept, which numbered to about 28 home families weekly attended. In February 1998, Pastor Allen attended the Haggai Institute in Maui, Hawaii, USA. During the years 1999 to 2001, milestones and trials have been the benchmark of success. Pastor Allen held a small weekly Bible study in 4 months in Nagoya, Japan. From 2002 to 2003, Brother Ernie Cisno and Brother Labrador Ordonez became one of the pastors in the Living Word. Pastor Allen revived his vision for the body of Christ after attending the Apostolic and Prophetic Builders in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and started the Catch the Spirit of Revival movement.
Dr. David and Reverend Gloria Wong were very supportive to Pastor Allen. Since 2002, they became his ministry partner in training and in times of dark situations, especially from 2007 onwards. They became instruments used by God to support and encourage Pastor Allen to go on in the ministry.
Pastor Allen attended the Stephen Wolford Center for Biblical Preaching in Memphis, Tennessee, USA in 2003 and 2004, 1 month for each year. With the leadership of Pastor Allen, many leaders and workers have been trained and are now being used in other places and ministries. The Lord used Pastor Allen with the support of the church members and leaders of the Catch the Spirit of Revival movement to provide mentoring, counseling, coaching, teaching, and refuge to needy and downhearted ministers. In 2005, Pastor Allen received his first earned Doctor of Theology in Theology University, Quezon City. This theological preparation has been effectively utilized in training leaders in the ministry. From 2006 to 2007, Reverend Dr. Alan B. Lee began to accelerate his training and educational process by taking another doctorate degree in philosophy, major in educational management at Cavite State University. This is to support his position as the Chief Administrator in Living Word Christian School as per requirement by the Department of Education. Despite the trials and problems encountered by Pastor Allen and the church, the ministry with all its glory stays up and keeps moving forward. The Apostolic, Prophetic, and Revival ministry of Pastor Allen continues to unfold many revelations and continues to preach the power of God here and abroad. In 2012, Pastor Bernie Deloy with his Plurama Christian Ministries in Tierra Nevada has been officially adopted and became one of the satellite ministries of the Living Word. He was later succeeded by one of the lay pastors, Pastor Ryan Padua. Sister Raquel Caparas has also been appointed as one of the lay ministers of Living Word Naik to assist Pastor Allen in the pastoral work. Succeeding the late Pastor Armand de la Rosa in Margondon Church, another lay minister, Sister Esther Asuncion, was also appointed to act as the lay pastor in Living Word Maragondon. Year 2015 became another milestone in mark of excellence and grace of God in the Living Word Church. The period 2016 to 2017 were remarkable years in the training ministry of the church, for about 30 new trainees have undergone the Pastoral and Leadership Institute. Darlene Joy Tiggal, Landerson Sulit, Joshua Adrian Pangilinan, Emmanuel Macario were appointed as elders of the church. Also appointed as deacons were Neri Hernandez, Mercy Agaw, Medanugid, Mel de los Santos, Carlita Nito, and Roger Pasion. God's gracious hand moved in 2018 to build our own church in Sabang Nai, Cavite with the help of Seoul Korean Church, coordinated by missionary Reverend Lee through the courtesy of Pastor Romulo Hintay, with the joint effort of the church members along with Brother Freddie Macario and Brother Angel Agaw and the Men's and Youth Fellowship, with some liberal support abroad and pledges of our faithful members and tithers. To mention, noted supporter of the church Kuya Ampi Poblete and family for untiring support to Pastor Allen and the church projects and programs, along with our former deacons, now elders, Sister Nettie, Sister Meda, and Sister Mercy. 2019 is considered a time of testing and sacrifice, beginning from the pastors down to the youngest members of the church. Trials and testings, especially in our Maragondon satellite, were experienced. But despite the situation and hardships experienced by Pastor Allen, they kept focused in the God-given call. Sister Lorna and Pastor Allen have graduated their course in early childhood education and special education. This year, 2020, the Living Word Global Outreach Ministries, NAIC, General Trias, and Maragondon, along with the churches all throughout the world, have been affected by the pandemic. Though experiencing difficulty, the Word planted its roots in the heart of the members, making us able to become resilient in the midst of pandemic. With the help of Direct Michael Daya and Scarlett Mendoza, the Facebook live stream of preaching and teaching became more presentable and more professional. Today is the culmination of another year to the Living Word Global Outreach Ministries for reaching its 32 years in the ministry to advance God's kingdom in Cavite to the world. Each year is God's grace of miracle to the church, and we are part of it. Every year that passes is marked with a benchmark and milestone.